Shalom, shalom, shalom. This is Bishop Ahrayah. All praises to Yahweh. Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakal Kodash. Hey, you brothers and sisters gotta give me one moment, man, because I gotta start this one off correctly. Hold on, give me a second here.
Who are the people Israelites?
All right. I can get going. Once again, it's your brother Elder Ahrayah back at you with another video. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai. Yeah, man. So I just want to say a few words on the recent passing of Elder High Priest Ahrayah. I don't know if it's been confirmed yet, but it's been about a week so far. And as far as we know, he is in a spirit world with Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, But regardless, I want to say a few words, and scriptures say double honors to your elders, which he is an elder of mine. All of us here, really all of you out there, if you claim to be teachers, if you claim yourself to be an Israelite, because one of the first things you learned is you learn what tribe you are from. That's how you're able to identify yourself as a Hebrew Israelite. Okay, so that goes back to Elder High Priest Ahrayah. Now, who you see on the screen there is High Priest Ahrayah on the left, and then you see King Masha on the right, which through the spirit, we here at GMS, I've seen a few videos of Israelite teachers, elders giving their honors to High Priest Ahrayah, and that's cool. And that's, it's good to see, man, that High Priest Ahrayah he made a impact on everybody, that he was around. I'm going to make this brief, not long, but when you look up the word brand, because when you go to Zechariah 3, and it speaks about the brand plucked from the fire. When you look up the word brand, a lot of scholars, slacking for the notification noises, a lot of the scholars, what they say is a brand represents a mark. Like, this is a spirit that's going to make a mark on the earth. And Elder High Priest Ahrayah definitely made a mark on the planet Earth, so much that people that have not even met him are talking junk about him. So hence the title, why I said in his misfit children, because if you're out there calling yourself an Israelite teacher, then you are a child of Elder High Priest Ahrayah in a spirit, and the majority of you are children of the elders at Great Millstone, whom the elders at Great Millstone, which circles back to the point I was making about all the Israelite leaders making videos about how High Priest Ahrayah impacted them. I haven't heard any of them besides us here at Great Millstone, the elders here, bring out Zechariah the third chapter. And ever since I've been in the truth, I believe I came in the truth circa 1997. And ever since day one, since I came in the truth, I've always heard, starting with Elder Apostle Tahar on down, that King Masha, the reason why it's called King Masha, that's King David in the spirit, in a reincarnation. And Elder High Priest Ahrayah is Joshua in the reincarnation. And I've always been taught that Elder High Priest Ahrayah, the scriptures, because King Masha mentioned it in one of the councils in the old school, which I wasn't a member there physically, in a spirit. In a spirit, I branch from there, because that's whom I learned from the elders that came from that school. Really, all the elders today came from that school. But I've always learned or been taught that High Priest Ahrayah about the prophecy of Joshua with the filthy garments, and then the filthy garments being removed. And this was before any of the comforter stuff happened or any of that. I've always heard this, always. And in one of the councils, as you hear the apostles and elders, you know, the bishops, because the majority of the bishops, if not all of them, with the exception of me from when I came in, they were at the One West School during the time when King Masha and High Priest Ahrayah was still in that building. And King Masha, in one of the councils, he famously said that y'all better read the 3rd chapter, and he was referring to High Priest Ahrayah, Elder High Priest Ahrayah. And Elder High Priest Ahrayah had love for each other. I mean, you see them there standing there. I don't know if there's rumors out there that Elder High Priest Ahrayah had jealousy or anything like that. I don't know if that's out there, but you got people out there talking all types of stuff. So I don't know what they're talking. But I was listening to a video yesterday. I think Apostle Ahrayah has sent it to me, I believe. And I was listening to it, and he was breaking down the 12 tribes, and he's going into a lot of stuff. And he referred to King Masha. I don't believe he said King Masha, but the way he said Masha, I think he said the head of the school. I think I'm trying to remember how he worded it, but I remember when I was listening to it, I said to myself, "Damn, the way he said that, he really loves King Masha, you know." But anyway, brothers and sisters, as I said, I don't want to make this too long, but if you want to find stuff on High Priest Ahrayah videos, just type it in YouTube. Also, remember Daily Motion. There's a lot of videos on Daily Motion from ourselves and from High Priest Ahrayah, you know, those old tapes. So I was searching through Google. I just put in High Priest Ahrayah, and these different things came up here, you know. These photos here. That's how I found this one here. Somebody uploaded this, somebody from Great Millstone. Let me hit watch and see which. This is Pinterest. It should go to Zaiwan Yasharala. Okay, so there's this channel here, Zaiwan Yasharala. I'm not sure who this is. But yeah. Oh, okay, the brother from ATL. Okay, I didn't know. All right, cool. So go check out his channel. He's got some videos there of High Priest Ahrayah. And then all these here. Now you see Alazar. I think he calls himself Chief Priest. Wow. I'm sorry, man. I'm not gonna call you Chief Priest. All right, I'm gonna just call you Alazar. Now, if you go to I mean, that's how crazy did that sound? You got High Priest Ahrayah, but you're Chief Priest. Man, please. Now, this was 4 days ago. Gorilla Hebrew reacts live, and I don't know. Maybe I'll probably speak a little bit on this because he got really disrespectful. But if you type in High Priest Ahrayah into Google, I just want to show you like all the results that come up about High Priest High Priest Ahrayah crushes Edomites. All right. Oh man, I've never seen it. I'm gonna have to watch this one after I do the live stream. Controversial leader. Let me see what this one says. I got you must be mentioning this article somewhere. Edifying our spiritual fathers of our nations, Abba Bivens and High Priest Ahrayah. Yep. Who's this? Oh, this is BitChute. Okay.
All right, Shalom Yasharala. Let's give all honor, praise, and glory to our power. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak, Wadash Brakatham. Double honors and a mighty shalom to the teachers and preachers at Great Millstone.
See that, man? Man, all right, let's start getting the scriptures. I'll just keep talking, man. But see, That's what happened. You shall know a tree by its fruit. See, when you listen to the brothers from Great Millstone, you hear humility, you hear respect, you hear something called what's it called? Etiquette. You hear etiquette. Let me look up that word etiquette. Because these men of these other Israelite camps, and I'm not, you know what I'm saying? It's not about bashing or talking junk. It is what it is. All right. Again, you shall know a tree by its fruits. So here at GMS, etiquette. Customary code of polite behavior in society or among members of a particular profession or group. Now, I already know what they're gonna say out there, but check this out, right? I already know what you're gonna say, you scoffers. You're gonna say, well, y'all very rude. Well, Paul is saying we are we are rude in speech, but not in knowledge. But we are truthful. You know, we are truthful and we do respect our elders and those who command respect. Now, if you don't command respect and you command disrespect, you just might get some disrespect, right? This is what it's one of my faves over here. I think it's Psalms 40:4. Okay, here we go. Psalms 44. It says, "Blessed is the man that maketh the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai his trust, and respecteth not the proud, nor such as turn aside to lies." So if you are proud or you have turned aside to lies, we don't have to respect. We don't have to show you respect. Okay? We don't have to show you any respect. But we will show the scriptures respect, and we will show etiquette towards the scriptures. So a man that is a man in the Lord that has been tried and proven, we're going to show him all the respect in the world. Okay? Such as with the elder high priest Ahrayah. All right. So let me get into the scripture here. In 2 Peter's. Matter of fact, what did I want to bring out? Yeah, let's go to 2 Peter's first. All right. And I'm just going to read 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 9. It says, "But there were false prophets also among the people." Because nowadays everybody claims to be a prophet. Everybody claims to be a high priest, a chief. It says, "But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privately shall bring in damnable heresies." And that just means just crazy, outlandish doctrines. "Even denying the Lord that brought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction." You know, and you got those that deny the Lord, that deny Yahweh Shai, deny his name, and will bring upon themselves swift destruction. Hold on, that's not, where's the part I'm looking for? I think it's down in 9. Okay, yeah, let's just go straight to the point. Verse 10. Verse 9. "The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment, to be punished." Okay. So what the Most High did with High Priest Ahrayah, you know, and if the Spirit had me going to Zechariah the 3rd chapter, it said that Joshua was a brand plucked out of the fire. And what that means is that Joshua, High Priest Joshua, which is Elder High Priest Ahrayah. And if you don't believe that, that's fine. You know, that's fine. It's not meant for everybody to believe. Matter of fact, let me just go to Zechariah. Okay, let me just go to Zechariah, because there's a point I want to bring out in Zechariah, the 3rd chapter. I'm going to breeze through this. Zechariah chapter 3, verse 1. "And he showed me Joshua the high priest standing before the angel of the Lord, and Satan standing at his right hand to resist him," meaning to fight him. "And the Lord said unto Satan, The Lord rebuke thee, O Satan. Even the Lord hath chosen Jerusalem, rebuke thee." Because part of Satan's job, and we all know Satan here on the earth, the physical manifestation of that is Esau, the so-called white man. And his job is to take is to have the Most High totally reject the nation of Israel. And that is a primary reason he wants to serve Israel, mainly Israel. He don't care about the other nations because they're not part of the covenant anyway. The law, statutes, and commandments were not given to the other nations. They're only given to one nation. That's the nation of Israel. You so-called Negroes, Puerto Ricans, those of you indigenous descent, Latino descent, the MOTB, the witchcraft, these contracts where you sign your soul over, all that is really meant for you, to persuade you, to take you out of the way, because you are the ones that have the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, had made a covenant with. Okay? So it said, the Lord had chosen Jerusalem, rebuke thee. And the scriptures say what? If the Most High did not set up an elect number of men, if it were possible, they would be deceived. Also in Romans, it says that the Most High reserved a number of men, 7,000 men that shall not bow down to the image of Baal. So through that, Israel will survive. Israel will be plucked out of the fire. In other words, plucked from eternal damnation. Okay, because blasphemy of the Holy Spirit is denying Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay, so when you take Esau's goal is to have Israel deny the Most High with that MOTB. But again, if it were possible, they would deceive the very elect, but it is not possible. So the elect will be plucked out of the fire, and they'll be plucked out of the fire through what? Through the chariots. That's in read Psalms the 91st chapter. Through the chariots, the so-called UFOs, the elect men will be plucked out of the nuclear fire. Okay? Meaning they will not face destruction. And so the nation of Israel will come back through those men. So when we read on, you'll see. Verse 2, it says, and the Lord said unto Satan, the Lord rebuke thee, O Satan. Even the Lord hath chosen Jerusalem, that has chosen Jerusalem, rebuke thee. Is this not a brand plucked out of the fire? Okay. And as you read on, he's referring to Joshua. And it says, now Joshua was clothed with filthy garments and stood before the angel. And he answered and spake unto those that stood before him, saying, take away the filthy garments from him. And unto him he said, behold, I have caused thine iniquity to pass from thee, and I will clothe thee with change of raiment. Now, there is a scripture. It was King David. He said, blessed are the man whom the Lord hath not imputed iniquity. So there are men out there, elect men, whom there is nothing they can do. There's nothing they could do to be taken. They're written in the book of life from the beginning. So no matter what they've done, because there's plenty of elect men in the scriptures that have done acts to where they acts worthy of death. King David, King Solomon, Moses couldn't even enter the promised land because he did not give the Most High credit. But is Moses an elect man? Of course he is. Okay, I mean, I'm not going to go there, but of course, Moses is an elect man, a man of the Lord. King David is a man of the Lord. The scriptures say he's a man after the Lord's heart, but he committed sins worthy of death. King Solomon, all right, and then you had Peter who denied Yahweh Shai. But what did Yahweh Shai say to Peter? He said, the gates of hell shall not prevail. All right. And that Satan chooses to sift thee. So going to High Priest Ahrayah, Elder High Priest Ahrayah, he made the statement about the comforter. And yes, that wasn't cool to put it, it wasn't cool. But does that mean that Elder High Priest Ahrayah is not a man of the Lord? Of course not. Because what did Yahweh Shai say? Yahweh Shai said that, loosely paraphrasing, He said that the devil cannot open the eyes of the blind. Now, all of you out there who call yourself Hebrew Israelites, going into the Hebrew, breaking down Jeremiah 14:2 into the Hebrew, where do you think that the apostles and us, where do you think we got the habit of going into words and going to etymology and going into the Hebrew and the Greek? We got that from High Priest Ahrayah. When you watch his videos, that's all he did. He went into the Hebrew. He went into etymology. He went into books. So for someone to say disrespectful things about Elder High Priest Ahrayah, then they're just not spiritual. And there's plenty of those out there. This is why in the title I said they're misfit children. All right, so now I just want to give you an example of this, right? Because we practice what we preach. Give me a moment. Had to take a little sip. Slack it. We practice what we preach, and double honor to the elders. That's something you hear from the brothers here at Great Millstone. Like I said, that's the type of fruit that we bear. That's a tree that Great Millstone comes from, the tree of Yahweh Bashin Yahweh Shai. And when we read down, it's going to speak about the branch. That's a branch that we come from. So we practice etiquette and honoring our elders. All right. And anybody that talks junk about someone they learn from, we're going to look at them sideways. You can't trust somebody like that. Even let's say, for instance, somebody came to the camp, and let's say they were students of whoever out there, IUIC, Sakari, ISUPK, and they said, look, and they came on and said, look, let's say they were part of IUIC, and they said, look, F IUIC, F Nate, F the deacons, can I join the camp? I mean, personally, me, I'm gonna look at them sideways. I'm gonna look at them sideways. I'll be like, if it was up to me, I'd be like, nah, you could just stand out there and listen. Because somebody like that, you can't trust somebody like that. You could say, look, they went off, they're going off, I'm not fuck with them or whatever. But to sit there and say F them and to wish damnation on them and all that, nah, man. All right. No. And I got a question for because you got I'm going to refer to the video that Sakari did, and he said that Elder High Priest Ahrayah is not going to be in the kingdom of heaven. So my question is, where is he going to be at? Is he not he's not an Israelite anymore? Like, where is he going to be at? Is he going to be what's that he's going to be in purgatory? Now you believe in purgatory? Hey, that what's that thing in that place in Superman where they put I think they put Zod in there, and it was that they were in that glass plate and they were just floating in outer space. They were trapped. I mean, well, anyway, man, let me read on. I mean, some of the stuff you guys say make no sense. All right, purely emotional rants. Now, my thing is, what issue you got with the man? You've never met him. Now I'm gonna tell you a story about us. So I met King Masha. I've met him once. I met him one time, and I've met Elder High Priest Ahrayah one time. And the way I met Elder High Priest Ahrayah, and as you all know, when the Comforter was alive, us, the bishops, we used to go speak. Where is that? Was that 14th Street? I got my memory's not so great, but if I'm not mistaken, it might have been 14th Street or somewhere else. I think it was 14th Street. I'm not sure, but we were speaking there, and the Comforter came by, and basically the Comforter jumped us with the whole congregation. I forgot how many of us there were. It was basically all the bishops of Connecticut, and it was the whole. What the hell they call themselves? The Comfort and his crew. It was all of them. It looked like the scene from the Matrix with Neo and all the agents. There was a million agents that kept coming out of everywhere. all four corners, but that's how they bum rushed us. And it was like the cartoons where you just see a bunch of people in cloud and smoke, and you see feet and fists and stuff like that. Yeah. So after that ordeal happened, Elder High Priest Ahrayah rolled up, and man, did we talk ish? Did we curse him out? Did we? Nah. Well, we did. We stood in a majum, because what we used to do in a school is whenever one of the high priests or the elders would walk in to the school, we would stand and we would salute them, and we would greet them, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. Well, we didn't say Ba'ashim Kadash back then. We say Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai Barakathum, So when Elder High Priest Ahrayah rolled up, we just came out of the scuffle. We had clothes ripped. Some of us had cuts and stuff like that. Cause it was like it was like a scene out of a movie. And when he rolled up, I think it was again, I'm slacking, man. My memory's not 100%. I think it was Bishop Sakaran, and he said Amajim. I believe it was him, and we all stood in formation and we saluted him. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai Barakatah. To Elder High Priest Ahrayah. And then he's talking. This is what you get. That's what you get. Something. It wasn't kind words. I remember, and that was my first and only interaction with Elder High Priest Ahrayah. And I believe maybe at least one or two of the other bishops. I think at least one. That was his first interaction with Elder High Priest Ahrayah. But man, I wasn't mad or pissed off. I was pissed off at Comfy and them, but Elder High Priest Ahrayah, I was like, damn, this was worth it. I was like, damn, it was worth it. You know what I'm saying? And so I have a personal encounter with him, and I have nothing bad to say about the man. Nothing at all. Everything I know is as a result of him. So you other cats out there, you got some judgment waiting for you. Now let's go back to Zechariah. Zechariah 3 and 4 says, and he answered and spake unto those that stood before him, saying, take away the filthy garments from him. And unto him he said, and this is unto Joshua, behold, I have caused thine iniquity to pass from thee, and I will clothe thee with the change of raiment. Right? In other words, wash and clean, which all of us, when you're born again, in Yahushai, you are, you get that change of raiment. And for the record, Elder High Priest Ahrayah did not turn his back from the plow. Okay. And he endured into the end, meaning he stayed in the faith. Of course, he went off. Again, I gave all the examples of that men that went off. And going back to Joshua, well, let me read on, man. It said, and I said, I will let them set a fair mitre upon his head. So they set a fair mitre upon his head and clothed him with garments. And the angel of the Lord stood by. And the angel of the Lord protested unto Joshua, saying, thus saith the Lord of hosts. And the Lord of hosts means the Lord of armies. And man, oh man, High Priest Ahrayah, was he a man of war? Very fiery spirit. That's what he's known for. We all know this. Very fiery spirit. And the reason I say to you men out there that talk junk about him, especially those that don't know him. So now there's one video that Sakari uploaded, and this is back in the day on 34th and 7th when somebody rolled up and said F Ahrayah, and I was there that day. You could see me in the background. I'm holding a sign, the sign up right in back of Elder Apostle Tahar, and this dude said F Ahrayah, and Apostle Tahar said, well, hey, if that's the way he feels, I can't knock it. Now Apostle Tahar didn't concede, didn't say, you know what, yeah. He said, look, I feel you, and that's how you feel. That's how you feel. And then they, I guess that was uploaded to try to say that Apostle Tahar is a hypocrite. We're hypocrites because we're getting on Alizé for saying Ahrayah, but we didn't get on that dude. Well, back then, that's when that thing with Comfy Fresh happened. That's when that thing was fresh in everybody's mind. Everybody was shocked, right? And number two, the man I was saying that, the reason why Apostle Tahar was like, hey, well, if that's how you feel, what can I say? Is because that man personally knew. He was personally there. He knew Apostle Tahar. That man knew Apostle Tahar. He knew the men from the school, the leaders. He knew of High Priest Ahrayah. He knew all of them. So there was some type of personal thing that offended him personally that he was pissed off at, whatever, But if this man has some type of animosity towards High Priest Ahrayah, maybe he was pissed off, having a bad day, ate a bad sandwich, was in a bad mood, maybe his estrogen levels were high that day. Who knows? But the point is that when High Priest Ahrayah comes back and King Masha come back, they're coming back together because the dead in Yahweh Shai are gonna rise up first. And all of you that were speaking against them, man, I don't want to be in your shoes. That's all I'm gonna say. I do not want to be in your shoes. Let me bring out a scripture too. Okay, so excuse me. Y'all know the scripture, I'm sure. Let me find out where it's at. Ecclesiastes 10 and 20. Curse not the king, no, not in thy thought, and curse not the rich in thy bedchamber. Meaning amongst yourself, at home, amongst your congregation. Yo, F them, F, I mean, you, Alizé, you went as far as to say that a tranny has, dude, you're tripping hard. You went to say that a tranny has more of a chance. What, man? Anyway, it says, curse not the king, no, not in thy thought, and curse not the rich in thy bedchamber. So a bird of the air shall carry the voice, and that which hath wings shall tell the matter. In other words, what that means that if you speak against any of these men, that little message, whether it was in your head or out loud, and look, sometimes you have demons that mess with you and they throw thoughts in your head and you got to curse them out. That's different. When the scriptures talk about the fiery darts of Satan, that's what that's talking about. But that's different. You curse them out. I rebuke you, Satan, in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. You rebuke them demons. But for you to go out there and to teach it to your congregation and make it public, and nah, man, that is recorded in the heavens. A little angel went and reported that back, and High Priest Ahrayah is up there. I mean, like I said, I don't want to be in your shoes. That's all I got to say. All right. All right. So let's go back to Zechariah 3, and it says, verse 7, thus saith the Lord of hosts, if thou wilt walk in my ways, and if thou wilt keep my charge, then thou shalt also judge my house, and thou also shalt keep my courts, and I will give thee places to walk among these that stand by, the righteous men. I will give thee places to walk among these that stand by. Hear now, O Joshua the high priest, and thy fellows that sit before thee. And that's the point I wanted to bring out, is that, look, if you don't believe Elder High Priest Ahrayah is a man of the Lord, Joshua the high priest in a reincarnation, or King Masha is King David in the reincarnation, or he's a man of you don't believe he's a man of the Lord, that's okay. If that's how you feel, hey, have fun with that. Because as I said, as it says here, it says, hear now, O Joshua the high priest, thou and thy fellows that sit before thee, for they are men wondered at. So it's referring to those that are on the side of Elder High Priest Ahrayah. I'm gonna put it like that. So there are men that's gonna be on his side, right? On the right side, and there's gonna be men that's gonna be on the other side. So like I said, when Elder High Priest Ahrayah comes back and King Mashad, when they come back together, I don't know what y'all gonna do. I don't know what y'all gonna do. It's gonna be ugly. That's all I'm gonna say. It says, "For behold, hear now, Joshua the high priest, thou and thy fellows that sit before thee, for they are men wondered at. For behold, I will bring forth my servant the branch." All right, so that's the main point that I wanted to bring out there. So I'm going to shut that down. Psalms 44. Okay, read that. Oh, do I have brand here? What do I have here? Brand, firebrand. Oh, you know what? I had an article here. Let me see what it says here for brand. Yeah, let me bring out Amos 4:11 because it's a good precept. Amos 4:11 says this. I have overthrown some of you as the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, and ye were as a firebrand plucked out of the burning, yet have you not returned unto me, save the Lord. And the reason I want to bring this out is just kind of to prove what it means in Zechariah 3 when it says that, is this not a brand plucked out of the fire? And what that means is that Elder High Priest Ahrayah, Joshua the High Priest, is that Satan will try his hardest to sift him, but the Most High will deliver him out of destruction, and that's a firebrand. A firebrand is something you throw in a fire and you can pull it out. It's not like a piece of wood that you throw in a fire and a piece of wood burns up. Okay, a firebrand can survive the fire and you can pluck it out of the fire. So in this instance here in Amos, the Most High is talking about how he had put Israel through all types of hell, destruction. He overthrew them, like, as it says in Sodom and Gomorrah. He put them through all types of hell, but there were certain of them that he allowed to escape. So he referred to them as firebrand, plucked out of the burning. Okay, so that's why I want to bring that out. Not that. And Acts 22, I was reading into that. Acts 23, I'm not going to read it, but that goes into, you can read it at home. That goes into Paul when he went before the Sadducees, Pharisees and the Sadducees, and they wanted to put him to death. And the high priest Ananias, he wanted them to put hands on Paul. And Paul kind of got on him, He didn't curse him out, but he checked him. He said, "Look, you're breaking the law," because Paul was a Roman citizen, right? And he was not proven guilty yet. You can't, in the Roman law, you cannot punish a Roman citizen. You can't beat them because they would scourge. I think in chapter 22 there, it said they were going to scourge him, and he said, "Look, I'm a Roman." So they said, "Oh snap, we can't do that." And this guy over here, Ananias, talking about, smacking him up or whatever. And he said, "Look, you're breaking the law right here. The Most High shall smite thee, thou whited wall." When you call someone a whited wall, that means you call them a hypocrite. And I'm going to say this, talking about whited walls, it made me, Nate pop in my head. So Nathaniel made a little tribute to Elder High Priest Ahrayah. Talking about I respect my elders, and I call BS on that. And the reason I call BS on that is because there's a video on Elder Apostle Tahar's channel where he goes into a cat that Vocab interviewed. I don't know how long ago it was, but this was somebody I guess he came up in a school. I don't know who this cat is, but he sounded like he was in a school and he was just breaking everything down. He broke down the Cornelius Council. He broke down how Elder Apostle Tahar always had love for High Priest Ahrayah and King Mashah. And he was going into Nate. Oh, did he mention Nathaniel? He mentioned Nathaniel. But my point is that back then, Nathaniel came against High Priest Ahrayah. He came against King Mashah, and he was an instrumental. He played an instrumental part in getting in a Connecticut, the apostles and the bishops from splitting from the main school, and for going against King Masha. All right. Now I wasn't there. I'm just trying to remember the stories that they had told. There were times when King Masha needed aid, he needed help, and yeah, they shitted on him, for lack of better words. But Nate came against them elders, and Nate does the other reason why I say that I call BS on that is because Apostle Tahar is Nate's elder. Nate came up in Apostle Tahar's camp, and Nate will never admit to that or never show Apostle Tahar any reverence, but that's what you can expect from those type of guys. I mean, think about it. You got Nate, who doesn't respect his elders, and I'm going by like Yahushua said, do what they do as they say, not as they do. Because this man, I'm talking about Bishop Nate. Yeah, he hasn't shown respect for his elders in his actions. You got Sakari, who doesn't show respect for his elders. He'll show respect to gang members, rappers, but he won't show respect to his elders. And if you notice, those type of guys it's like a demon. It's something in common. They both scream for attention. They hop on any show they can, even if it's a show about, they got guests that deal, pimps and drugs, and they'll still hop on it just to get some shine. They'll screaming for attention. They it's like they got daddy issues. Like they weren't raised with their daddy or something. And they just want to be filled. They want to feel love. They want to hug, or something. And they screaming for attention. But those same dudes, they don't respect the elders. And I guarantee you that they didn't have fathers in their lives, because that's something you learned from your daddy. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't learn it from your physical daddy, you learn it from your spiritual daddy. But anyway, man, it's like I'm doing a lot of rambling. But Lord's willing, it's edifying. But that's why I call BS on Nate. I think the reason why I said that is because he's subliminally telling his congregation, y'all better not ever say anything bad about me, because I'm your elder. But verse 3 says, and Paul said unto him, the Most High shall smite thee, thou whited wall. For sittest thou to judge me after the law, and commandments me to be smitten contrary to the law? So he checked him. And verse 4 it says, and they that stood by said, revilest thou the Most High Priest? And verse 5, Paul said, then said Paul, I wist not, I didn't know, brethren, that he was the high priest, for it is written, thou shalt not speak evil of the ruler of thy people. All right. So it's against the law. I believe it's in Exodus, the 22nd chapter. You're not supposed to speak or revile. It says the gods in Exodus, but it means the judges, the priests and the high priests. You're not supposed to talk about them. Then I got this here. So this goes into the bland plucked from the fire. And it says, I'll read a little bit of it. This is some so-called Jews put this together, but it got some good points in here. It says right here. Let me see. The prophet sees the high priest. Prophet sees the high priest Joshua standing before the angel of the Lord with Hashatan, the adversary, standing at his right side to accuse him. Man, so all those of you accusing High Priest Ahrayah, what does that make you? Hashatan, the adversary, standing at his right side to accuse him. And the Lord said to Satan, the Lord rebuke you. And we here at Great Millstone were speaking through the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, and rebuke all of you that are talking against reviling the high priest, elder high priest Ahrayah. O Satan, the Lord who has chosen Jerusalem, rebuke you. Is this not a brand plucked from the fire? We see that Joshua's garments are filthy, unfit for priestly service, but the angel says, behold, I have taken your iniquity away from you, and I will clothe you with pure vestments. Again, blessed is the man whom the Lord imputeth not iniquity. Joshua is restored and equipped for service. But how did his garment become unclean in the first place? Blah, blah, blah. It says, but whatever the source of Joshua's defilement, the Lord decrees mercy, not judgment. That's what it means. Again, that's what I was explaining earlier about being plucked from the fire, meaning that the Most High delivered Elder High Priest Ahrayah from any type of judgment, because the Most High has set him. He's an elect man. That's why, point blank. It says the accuser is to be rebuked. This priest is a brand, a burning branch plucked from the flames of exile, and the Most High still has a purpose for him. The word for brand can also be translated firebrand, as in Isaiah 14 and Amos 4:11. A branch drawn out of the fire that bears fire itself as a crude torch. Ooh. Like I said earlier, what are y'all going to do when High Priest Ahrayah and King Masha return with that spiritual power? And some of y'all out there be like, damn, he's talking about some Marvel comics. Well, that's cool. Number one, these lessons are not even for y'all. I'm talking to you, but I'm not. I'm pretty much talking about you. This is for the brothers on this side. All right. I'm sharing this lesson for them. So it says where am I at? The light bearing slack. I lost my place here. A branch drawn out of the fire that bears fire itself as a crude torch, meaning he's gonna come back with flames. You know, like when you read about the two witnesses in Revelation, I believe that's 11th chapter. He's coming back like that, and it's no coincidence that High Priest Ahrayah, Elder Ahrayah, he always wore red, which represents that fiery spirit that he got. Oops, let me go back. Where was I at? Despite from out of the conflagration of exile and adversity comes a flame, however feeble, which the Most High values and protects. The fire threatening destruction of the Most High's people ignites a flame that serves at the Most High purpose. Anyway, just going into other stuff. Yeah, man. So I think that's it. Spirit tell me to end this right here, man. So with that, I'm going to say, I hope this was edifying. I'm going to say all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Rakab, Qudash, Shalom. Hey, we almost out of here, man. To me, this is a sign that we just close, that much closer. And hey, I look forward to, Lord willing, hopefully, I pray, I have the honor to be reunited with High Priest Ahrayah and King Masha on this side, when the Most High comes for that deliverance. That's my hope. Shalom.